recently the US Senate today has approved a bill to make daylight savings time permanent. The Senate on Tuesday approved a proposal to make daylight savings times permanent, which is passed in the House and signed by President Biden. This would basically mean Americans would never again have to set their clocks back an hour and lose an hour of afternoon daylight in the fall and winter. If enacted into law, it would also mean that early risers lose an hour of daylight in the morning in November, December, January, and February. So this has been done in Iran as well, apparently. And the idea is that this might have something to do with CERN. So CERN, for those of you who don't know, is a facility in Geneva, Switzerland. They actually own the world's biggest machine, called the Hadron Collider. This machine is a 17-mile radius that shoots particles at high speeds and collides them. And according to the scientists at CERN, they're trying to discover how the Big Bang apparently started, which I don't fully believe. One thing their scientists have admitted is that they are looking for other worlds and other dimensions. As real as this one, but way different. In fact, the Hadron Collider has been pretty much shut down the past 3 years. The Large Hadron Collider will explore the cutting edge of physics after
and they just booted it up again like a couple weeks ago.
To once more push the boundaries of the cutting edge of particle physics with the reopening of the Large Hadron Collider. They're apparently going to jumpstart this machine again in May. Last time they did this was about 3 years ago, which also happened to be the start of all these weird events that's been happening the past 3 years. Worldwide disease outbreak, Australia was on fire, being on the brink of World War III.
Dude, Australia's always on fire.
It's just like the entire world feels like a combination of an episode of
Nah, it was like the 5th, I think.
Stranger Things and Black Mirror.
It was like actually exactly a week ago.
The world has been feeling extremely weird, and I think many of us can agree on that. That things don't feel as normal as they should be. So yeah, the Daylight Savings Law was proposed today, March 15th, 2022, and apparently the game Doom takes place in the year 2022. Supposedly the original Doom storyline takes place in March 2022, which is of course spreading around the internet. The source of this date can be traced to the manual for the SNES version of the game, which clearly shows March 15th, 2022 on the cover. So this 90s game is basically about portals opening up to the demonic dimensions. And according to the SNES version, the manual for this game says that the portal opened up March 15th, 2022. That's where the game is set, according to that version. But yeah, interesting, a little rabbit hole. By the way, this is from a card game from the 90s called the Illuminati card game. Subscribe to my YouTube for more, and we're out.
More Mandela
Let's talk about
effects.
brand new Mandela effects in 2022. For those of you who have no idea what the Mandela effect is, I'm going to give you a brief, simple definition of the Mandela effect. So here's a simple definition of a Mandela effect. The Mandela effect refers to a situation in which
the Australia is just crisis actors.
So that's basically the simplified version of the Mandela effect. It's collective false memory. It's when a large group of people remember an event that actually never ever happened, yet they are certain that it did. So let's get started. The first one I want to talk about is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's most famous catchphrase.
Okay, we did this one.
Cooking. So yeah, his catchphrase has always
Steve
been,
Irwin was their top crisis actor, yeah.
Never changed. Dwayne Johnson's most iconic catchphrase was, "If you smell what The Rock is cooking." It was so popular that WWE added it to his entrance theme. So it's always been, if you smell what The Rock is cooking. It's never been can. But many people, including myself, remember Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's famous catchphrase being, "Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?" It's even on t-shirts and other merch. Even they get it wrong somehow. Even Saturday Night Live got this one wrong.
Okay, but Saturday Night Live gets everything wrong.
What The Rock is cooking. Yet he doesn't even say that in the video. So it's an odd little residue. So yeah, very bizarre to say the least. Moving on, this one is concerning Britney Spears and her music video, Baby One More Time. And this Mandela effect has to do with what she's wearing. Now, based off memory alone of watching this iconic pop music video,
I don't know.
What do you guys remember Britney Spears wearing? Specifically the type of skirt she is wearing. Now, from my memory, I remember her wearing a plaid skirt. And like,
okay, guys, I don't know what skirt Britney was wearing in this video, so if one of you guys knows, let me know.
Like a black and white pattern. But apparently the color of her skirt has always been plain black. Yet many people, including myself, remember her wearing a plaid skirt, like this one. What's interesting is there are memes showing what you need to wear to look like Britney Spears in her music video Baby One More Time. And it shows like a gray sweater, a white dress shirt, and a plaid skirt. Here's some more interesting residue. Here's a group of girls trying to look like Britney Spears from the music video Baby One More Time. They have everything
So
right
just
except
say
the skirt is supposed to
plaid.
be pure black like the music video, but it's a plaid skirt like I remember and like many others remember
But
as
it's a
well.
plaid
However, it's
skirt.
always been
Have you
pure black.
Mandela
Moving
affected
on, for
not
all you art lovers, this
remembering how to
Mandela
say
effect is concerning
plaid?
the Scream painting. The Scream is the popular name given to a composition created by Norwegian artist Edvard Munch in 1893. The antagonized face in the painting has become one of the most iconic images of art,
It's a
seen as
plaid
symbolizing
shirt.
the anxiety of the human condition. Does anything about the painting stand out? Anything at all? Apparently this painting has always had a bracelet. Very weird. Let me know
Okay.
what you guys think.
All right. I could miss a bracelet on an image. That one was not that bad. Let's do mysterious fires.
Well, dreams, they feel real while we're in them, right? It's only when we wake up that we realize something was actually strange. Let me ask you a question. You never really remember the beginning of a dream.
Right, we are back with another episode, and today we're going to continue my obsession
Art is
with the void
bullshit.
century, my favorite century, the 1800s, the 19th century. And for today's topic, we're going to talk about mysterious, very destructive fires that happened during the 1800s all across the world. But for today's topic, we're going to strictly focus on the Great Chicago Fire, because I believe that the Great Chicago Fire is one of the most bizarre, destructive, mysterious fires during the 1800s. It's
No,
one
it
of
was
them,
a
but to me
cow.
it's the most interesting, so I
A
want
cow
to
did
focus
it.
on that. And so let's read a little bit about it, and then let's
The artist is
talk about
suing
it.
for
So
copyright
the Great Chicago Fire
infringement.
was a conflagration
My
that
God.
burned in the American city of Chicago during October 8th through 10th, 1871. The fire killed approximately 300 people, destroyed roughly 3.3
Sleepy.
square miles of the city, including over 17,000 structures, and left more than 100,000 residents
I fucking hope my
homeless.
subs get
So
here
the date
tomorrow,
that this
guys.
destructive fire
I don't think I
occurred
can
was
go
in
another day without my gamer
1871.
subs.
And the apparent cause, or the accepted narrative of what caused the Great Chicago Fire of 1871, is that the fire began in the O'Leary barn as Mrs. O'Leary was milking her cow. The cow
Yeah.
kicked over a lantern, or an oil lamp in some version, setting a fire to the barn, and then it spread to the rest of Chicago,
Fucking banana.
basically leveling 1/3 of Chicago and destroying a huge portion of it. And apparently it destroyed over $222 million.
My gamer subs, my powdered
Adjusted to
energy drink
inflation,
that I drink
is
every day.
$4.7 billion in 2020 dollars. That is insane. Probably more right now because of inflation. So the burned areas are approximately 2,112 acres. So yeah, this was a very destructive fire. Basically destroyed 1/3 of Chicago, thousands of buildings, over 17,000 buildings. And the apparent cause is the fact that a cow knocked over a lamp, set the
This
barn
is how I
ablaze,
was told
and
it
then the rest of the
happened.
fire spread to Chicago, destroying much of Chicago. And I'll explain to you
And then we got to
why it's so
rebuild,
bizarre.
and we gave ourselves
On my
alleys
Instagram,
because we
I
realized
posted a meme concerning
not
this
having
topic
alleys
of how a
was
cow
fucking
apparently started the Great
stupid.
Chicago Fire of 1871. And it was just a funny meme, and I thought it was hilarious because the whole narrative just kind of doesn't really make sense. And then someone DMs me and says, "Dude, do you know how a fire works?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do," which is why I find this so bizarre and interesting. And I'll explain to you guys why I find it so bizarre. So let's take a look at actual historical photographs of the Great Chicago Fire of 1871 that was apparently started by a cow knocking over a lamp, burning down a barn, and spreading to the rest of Chicago. So here are some photographs. Here's the first one I want to show you guys. Absolutely insane, crazy looking destruction.
Right, but okay,
One thing
here's
to
the
note-
thing about the Chicago Fire. I was wondering where that fucking music was coming from. Okay. I was like, bro, your music is like a little bit too loud for like what you're doing right now. Okay, so the Chicago Fire. Sorry. Okay, so the Chicago Fire was started by a cow knocking over a lantern. And but what actually happened was the Chicago firefighters had already been going for 3 or 4 straight days fighting all these various fires, and they were running out of supplies, they were running out of fucking usable equipment, they were exhausted, and so those fires had all been contained. It was a dry season, I guess, I don't remember exactly. But what happened was, when this fire started, it just came at the perfect time. Like, everybody was fucking exhausted. The firefighters were out of resources. It wasn't just like, oh, a cow knocked over a thing. It was, we've been fighting fires for multiple days now, and this is the straw that broke the camel's back. Okay, why are these photos mysterious? I'm not seeing why this is mysterious. This is just a photo. You put spooky music, but it doesn't make it mysterious photo. These are the same photos that What's-His-Face showed us on the Flat Earth stream.
A long time ago, I started looking into how we got into the digital world. I started reading every single book on computers, microchips, and code. No book ever explains how we went into the digital world. And at the end, he says, I believe that fallen angels created the digital world to merge our world with the spiritual world. If they get us into the meta, they will have full control of us. So I thought that was very interesting because he does have a point. When you try and search up how we got into the digital world,
it's basically just this
there's
meme.
not much information that I can find for you guys besides the origins of the World Wide Web, which happens to be at CERN. And with all that in mind, I want to get back to the Bible verse that I told you guys in the beginning. The first one is Ecclesiastes 1:9.
Create ways to see without seeing. Create ways to speak without speaking.
And there is no new thing under the sun. And keeping this verse in mind, let's get into touchscreen technology such as iPads, iPhones, Androids, computers, laptops. Now, to most of you guys, you assume that this technology is brand new, that back in our past there is no way they had anything as advanced as what we have today. But as Ecclesiastes states, there is nothing new under the sun. What has been done will be done again. And what if I told you guys that touchscreen technology did exist back in the day? However, we think it's just all myth and legend. And what I'm talking about is magic mirrors. We easily dismiss accounts such as these, occult, alchemic, but these could be oversimplified descriptions of high tech from previous generations. We have neither just magic or technology, but possibly a combination of both. Over time, people lost an understanding of magic and these became folk tales. Certain few tried to remake the effects and gave a rise back to occultism. Smart mirror. Paradoxically, these occult and alchemic attempts made technology rediscovered, so we assume that people like Steve Jobs and other developers and inventors of this touchscreen technology, that they just invented something brand new that's never existed before. But what if they didn't? What if this is just rediscovered technology or magic? Cultures have always been fascinated by the ethereal facets of mirrors and the worlds they reflect. There are many legends, tales, and accounts through the world regarding magic mirrors. So yeah, basically back in the old days, according to myth and legends, magic mirrors or scrying mirrors were used to basically do things like see onto other parts of the world or talk to people through other magic mirrors on different parts of the world.
Yeah, this is a pretty
kind of like FaceTime on iPhones and iPads and stuff like that. There's a guy named John Dee who was an Anglo-Welsh mathematician, astrologer, and occultist and alchemist. He spent much of his time on alchemy, divinations, and hermetic philosophy. One of the strangest objects on display in John Dee's collection is his magic mirror, a somewhat sinister-looking black void. The magic mirror, made out of obsidian, volcanic glass, originates from Mexico. It was previously used by Aztec priests to conjure visions and make prophecies.
Very important, and that creates all that touch and whatnot. But if you have a look at this is really nothing else than black mirror and some glass and some paper and some thin layers of film. Not only that, if you have a look at the camera, that is also just the...
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Smartphones are made out of glass and Satan, right? That's how they work.
Joke. This camera is capturing what you are and who you are and sending through the ether that image. You know, give me a break. That's just basically a porthole, nothing else.
Anyway, back to the second verse that I mentioned in the beginning of this video. Ephesians 2:2-4. Where in time past you walked according to the course of this world, according to, focus on this part, prince of the powers of the air and the spirit now worketh in the children of disobedience. The prince of the power of the air. This is talking about the devil and his... This is talking about the devil and his minions, you know, like demons and stuff. And it says that he's the prince of the powers of the air. Now, let me ask you guys something. How does the internet work? What if this is talking about modern technology such as
it's not
internet,
that the camera is a
radio,
portal.
Wi-Fi, but back in the past was referred to as
the
magic
phone
and
is a
sorcery,
portal, and the
such
camera
as
is how they
magic
see
mirrors,
without
as I mentioned
seeing.
before. Maybe this is all just rediscovered technology. As the Bible says, there's nothing new under the sun. What's been done has been done again. And magic mirrors are very similar to TVs, computers, cell phones, etc. Same type of concept. What's really interesting, even some of the words we use for this technology, such as televisions, for example. What do TVs have? TVs have channels. And what are channels? And channels are what? Basically mediums through which you can send a message to its intended audience. In witchcraft, channels are also used as mediums.
That's how you talk
and then
to
on
Ashtar,
TV, what do we have? We have news, and what does the news do? They broadcast. Broadcasting. Casting spells. As I stated, there is nothing new under the sun, and to us, this is all just physical technology. We don't think of it as anything spiritual or magic. We think this is all just a physical technology. But like I said, there's nothing new under the sun. What has been done will be done again. And maybe all this technology that we have today is literally just rediscovered magic mirrors.
Yeah, probably.